What is up, guys? Welcome to a weirdly special episode of WhyCars. Today, we're going to be going away from being with a content creator that is into cars, and we're here with my childhood best friend Nick, and we're just going to talk about how we met and just kind of our lives growing up. And trust me, it's car related, I promise. But so me and Nick met in 7th grade, and we were in the gym together.
class, and as you were saying, we were always partners for everything, and I think that's kind of just where it started. And I don't know why, but everything in between that is a blur until we were in 8th grade in English class with Mr. Olson.
We never really hung out outside of.
We weren't really outside of school. We really didn't hang out until 8th grade.
Yeah, we were just partners in gym class.
Yeah,
and then we got to 8th grade, and English was the first period of the day. It was like periods first and second.
Yep. Dude, that was rough.
It was.
It was 80 minutes of just oof.
Dude, it sucked. And we connected over Good Mythical Morning, and we wouldn't be writing in our English notebook. We would be writing down.
Take your notes. It's like we whip out our notes, and it's just full of like quotes from that day's episode.
Dude, not even that episode. The song OCD by Rhett and Link. We literally wrote down
lyric for lyric.
The pictured frame.
It'd be like a picture lyric. Yeah, I forgot about that.
And in this notebook, we do it like every period. Like,
yeah, because we don't want to learn about the crap, like where to put commas and stuff. We want to recite OCD from the top of our head.
I mean, what sucks is I know that entire song because we did that. It sucks.
When we listened to it in the car the other day, and I was like, this doesn't sound like how I remember it.
No, it sounds pretty different. But
they are driving me insane.
And then he's like his face. Dude, if you don't know what we're talking about, it's OCD by Rhett and Link. Go watch the video. It is so funny, and it's basically if you have OCD, I guess you want to kill yourself. I don't know.
It's like people opening chip bags from the wrong side. What are some of the other popular ones?
It's the uneven hoodie strings.
Oh, uneven like pants too, like shorts or capris.
Yeah. And then there's one that I didn't get. It was Googling askew.
Yeah, because askew is for I actually don't know the actual definition, but you Google askew.
Oh, and everything drops?
It doesn't drop. It tilts at like a 15-degree angle.
Oh.
And I think askew means something tilted.
Okay. I feel geometry.
I don't know. The isosceles triangle, something like that.
But so Nick and our friend Joe, who was also supposed to be on the podcast, if you watch my vlog, that it's probably came out before this. Joe's the guy
awesome.
Joe's the guy with the Quagmire shirt on, the little guy.
How did we talk him into doing that again? I think I was like, I have a Quagmire shirt. Does anybody want to wear it? So Sam's like, nah. And Joe's like, you know what? I think I'll wear that. And he's like, never mind. I'm like, dude, what do you mean? You got to wear this. And then he was like, you know what? If you have a white shirt, I'll do it. I'm like, okay, here you go. Toss one right to him.
Me and Nick don't smoke weed or do, but Joe does. And he was stoned.
He was just baked the entire time. He was
stoned out of his mind. And we just came from a bar, right?
Yeah. So Joe is plastered. And
yeah,
I don't really drink that much. So I was pretty much stone cold sober.
He was smoking weed, and then we went to a rooftop bar where he also had some vodka Red Bulls.
He's a man of vodka Red Bulls.
And I think that's how it was.
Well, he got super bad after the bar up in Lincoln Park.
Yeah.
That's where, because I was a bad influence.
So the video.
I was like, you want one more, Joe? He was like, nah, yeah, I'll take one more. I'm like, all right, man.
And what sucks is we were all coming back to Nick's place, which is where we're at right now, to hang out. But Joe had to be in Wisconsin at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and it was already 4 a.m. So he like had to book it, and he was tired. He might have still been intoxicated.
No, there's no way. I think because we left that bar, he didn't have anything to drink after that bar. That was like from 2 a.m. till like 4:30, and
that fall definitely sobered him up a little bit.
Yeah, so we should probably tell that for context. It's gonna be part of the vlog, right?
Yeah. Both of them.
But
he fell twice.
If you want to see him eat garbage on the ground.
What sucks is, so the way that we were doing this vlog is we were kind of going around. So Nick lives in Chicago, and we were just kind of going around to bars and stuff, and going to the rooftops, going to the parties and stuff. Went to a college campus, and after, me and Nick decided to jump into Lake Michigan. But Nick doesn't have a car here. He has this electric motorcycle or electric bike. So it's got a basket on it. So I sat on the basket facing behind him. And then we had his bike lock.
Bike lock rope.
Joe was holding onto the bike lock with his longboard. And we're on our way to the beach. We get to the beach, and Joe's like, "Oh, this is where I was able to drift." And I was like,
watch this.
We're going 25 miles an hour right now with this electric bike. And I'm like, I literally said out loud, I was like, please I do not need you getting hurt right now. Please don't do any tricks. What does he do? He's like, watch this. He drifts it, but literally board stops instantly. He goes right down.
Bam. And I didn't see it happen. I just heard it. Like, he fell so hard, I heard it. And that's when I looked behind and saw that he was on his face.
I watched everything.
You had the front row seat.
I was literally watching him. I literally saw the board stop, and he went down. And
I felt so bad. He got up and he was like,
in my mind,
what's wrong with my hand?
Dude, in my mind, I was like, I fucking knew it. But yeah,
like, let's not do tricks right now. He's like, watch this. Dies.
His whole, he had 5 or 6 cuts on his hand. He had a cut on his arm, and what's it called? And I think that was it. Oh, he cracked open his Apple Watch.
Oh yeah, it was bad. Like, it was like a spider web on his Apple Watch. That I felt so bad about.
Yeah, that was
minor scuffs, but the Apple Watch. Oof.
But so then he's examining his cut, and as he's doing that, I gave him the camera to film us going in. So that's probably in the vlog, is us going in. And then he gets sand in his fucking cuts. It didn't even go in, not even wet.
It healed somehow. The sand was healed into his skin. So he showed me his hand. It's all crusty. And he's picking at it, trying to move. The sand's not going nowhere. It is in there. It is in his scab.
Did not understand what was going through his head. And then he's got my camera. I don't know if I put that in the vlog, but he's literally filming these ducks that are
these
following
ducks are
us.
They are literally, these ducks were so chill with us. We were 2 feet away from them at one point, and they were just staring at us. We were staring back.
They were pretty cool ducks, but
we got out of the water, we're dying, and he's like, "Look at these ducks! Look at them!"
I'm like, "Joe, film us! We're freezing!" And he's like, "Look at the ducks!
Look at the ducks!"
I'm probably gonna put it after my outro.
That was a good clip.
It was a good clip.
Yeah, the whole bike situation. I love my electric bike. It is probably one of my best purchases I've ever made. But I remember with Sam on the back, and I was just full throttle. We're just cruising down the streets of Chicago. It's somewhere between 2 and 4 in the morning. So there's nobody out. There's a car maybe once every block.
So
no, and
sorry to cut you off.
All good.
But we were out. We got into Chicago around 9. Me and Joe got in around 9 o'clock, and we were out the entirety until 4:30 in the morning.
Yep.
We left, so we got back from this college party around 1:30 maybe.
Yep. Yeah. So actually, the last call was at 1:30. I remember we did a last call, and then so it was probably around 2 we left that place.
At 2 we left? Are you sure?
Maybe 1:45. So. Yeah, because we stayed for last call. We finished up and we're like, let's get out of here.
Not really. We left pretty.
We left before last call?
I think so.
I don't know.
I think we left at 1.
I don't know.
Because we were out for a while.
It was a while.
But
I don't think it was before 1. There's no way.
I think so.
There's no way we rode around on that bike for 3.5 hours.
Dude, I'm telling you, we did.
That's insane.
I'm telling you, we did, because it was 2:00 when we were at the beach.
Okay, yeah, that actually puts everything into perspective. That's crazy.
So we got to the beach around 2:00, jumped in, did all that. It only took like 15 minutes. And then we ended up walking back because we were soaking wet and didn't want to be on the bike. Dried off a little bit, washed the sand off our feet, and then got back on the bike. And for some reason, we didn't go home.
No, we
were trying to look for a 7-Eleven.
Yeah, I wanted a Mountain Dew so bad at 3 a.m. It was my mission to find a 7-Eleven. And for some reason, you go on Google Maps. Every single 7-Eleven says that they're open 24 hours. They're lying to you. They lied to us, dude, and it's BS.
Everyone was closed at midnight, and it was like 2:30. So we're just driving around, and it's Nick riding the bike, me on the basket facing backwards, and then
Joe's on
his
longboard.
And
it was so,
all these people on the back like, yo, I want next, yo, that's sick.
It's like all the people exiting the bars, flooding into the streets, and all the people are still out partying, and they're all just cheering us on. But like, I thought like I was riding full throttle. We're cruising down these streets. We got Motley Crue on the speakers. I was like, dude, we are so badass right now. Sam and I look at our reflection in like a glass building. I'm like, we look like goobers. I want to go home. That was just not it.
Dude, we did look so stupid.
It looked so bad.
I mean, dude, it was not a pretty sight. But so
Joe looked cool.
But
riding on the back of a
so then we get, like, we cannot find anything. We stop at Walgreens, gas stations, 7-Elevens, literally any place that might have Mountain Dew.
It was my mission. I had to.
It was literally all of our missions because we were all parched. And the only thing that was open was McDonald's.
And love you.
We had been riding around. Joe fell off again. We went over the bridge, and Joe ate shit, but he caught himself. And all I got on video, I think, was him just his like strides.
He going over State Street over the river. There's like a little hump, like where the two bridges meet in the middle, and I guess his longboard got caught because it was like way too big of a bump, and he immediately like flew forward. And I didn't see. I looked back because I knew it was gonna happen. I was like, big bump, hit the bump. I look behind me. Joe is off of his longboard, and he's trying to keep up with his momentum. So his steps are literally like so big. Like, it was the most funny thing I have ever seen. It was cartoonish, and I got to see the footage of the vlog because that was. It would have been great.
What was the best part of my situation is I saw everything Joe did in real time, and I just
you remember
so fucking funny.
You remember on the way to the beach where we were like making a left turn, and I almost chopped his head off with a sign. It was like
literally, he goes wide. Nick's literally driving this back, and he goes wide. He's like, "Oh shit!"
Like
literally all I saw was Joe duck and sign.
Like
I couldn't see anything that was coming up at us.
Joe.
I saw was Joe duck sign.
Joe was on my left shoulder. I'm like, all right, we're taking a left turn. We go left. He swaps from my left shoulder to my right. He's like, "Oh my god, that's a freaking pole!" And barely misses it.
Dude, shit was so funny. And I mean, I don't know how, dude. He could have died like 7 times.
We were beating the hell out of Joe. I'll tell you that. And I'm surprised he.
Okay,
like,
don't maybe phrase it like that.
It was good.
Don't fucking follow it up with that.
It was great.
We beat him off, and it was good.
Beat him up, not off.
Oh. I'm thinking about something else. Anyway,
we also did
second dicks.
That's a good topic to ask people on the streets. Like, you do it sitting down or standing up.
Dude, let me fucking catch my breath.
But
holy shit.
Anyway, we were going down. Some of the streets in Chicago get crazy with potholes and just uneven surfaces. So he's having a rough time. And there's like super bumpy roads where it's like the surface of the road is like
a constant
super,
like vibration.
And he was like, dude, stop going over the red. Like the red was like this vibrating surface. He said his legs were getting numb. And I was like, okay, bet. Go over the red on purpose, speed up. And at one point, we got to an intersection. He's like, dude, we need to stop right now. He looks at his Apple Watch that's like cracked. It's got spider webs. He's like, dude, my heart rate's 140. We gotta pull over. I'm like, dude, you're working out right now. I'm the one like petting my ass off.
I felt great.
Grown men. Yeah.
He asked me, he was like, dude, check your Apple Watch. What does your heart rate say? I'm like, motherfucker, I'm sitting. I'm fine. Like, dude, this shit was so fucking funny. And then, so around 4 o'clock, 4:15, we go to this McDonald's, and we had all this energy, all this adrenaline. It's 4 o'clock. We have all this energy to put somewhere. And we end up, because McDonald's is the only thing open. So we end up going and waiting in line and everything. And all of us, like instantaneously, as we're waiting this line, it hits all of us like a bullet train.
Brick wall.
Of how fucking tired we are. And most people would think, okay, we're at McDonald's. We're going to eat and then go straight home. Nope. Fucking morons.
We kept
going. So we had like, I had a couple cheeseburgers. You had fries.
I had fries and a drink. That's all I needed right there.
Nuggets. And then he gets a fucking text from his Citizen app. He's like, yo, there's a shooting 2 street downs. Let's go.
Yeah. If you don't know, the Citizen app pretty much notifies you of any like crime alert in your area. So it pulled up on my phone. It was like it was like the alert was a group of people fighting or something like that. I'm not sure how it was phrased. But yeah,
group of people fighting, and then it said armed. Or
and it said there a report with a man with a gun at the same incident. So we're like, dude, some crazy shit's going down over on Illinois Street. We got to go check it out, even if it means endangering our lives. So we show up, everything's under control.
And what's crazy is a madhouse. After he says that, 2 cop cars fly past us.
Right, and this must be serious.
And Nick's really like, well, that's where they're going, because that's literally that direction. So we get on our the bike and Joe's longboard and go over there.
And immediately
almost get killed by a fucking Range Rover.
That guy was drunk driving, because later when we saw, he pulled up to the crime scene. He got out of his car, was stumbling all over the place, and it
did
was,
a lap.
Yeah, it was
did
bad.
A fucking lap.
Like that guy almost took out an electric bike, because I would have caught it in time.
Yeah, he was going.
He had been.
It was a red light, and he was going so fast. Like we were halfway through the intersection, and he's coming at us.
Still going.
A red light. We get about 3/4 of the way. He finally brakes.
Slams on his brakes.
Smoke everywhere coming from his brakes. Blew my mind. I was like, dude, those brakes are killing themselves right now. And
you smell it too.
And then he was like looking at us like,
yeah, he was mad at us.
Dude, we had the right of way.
We should be mad at you for almost killing us. We let you off.
And then he like drove off, and we met up with him at the crime scene.
It's severely intoxicated. I'm surprised that those officers didn't arrest him on the spot.
Yeah. No, what was so funny is it was right in front of the fire station, and all the firefighters were sitting in lawn chairs watching. They were just like, got nothing better to do.
As soon as we pulled up to the crime scene, they didn't have like the streets blocked off or anything. They had it pretty much under control. There was probably like maybe 15, 20 cop cars.
There's so many.
The first thing that I saw was the security guard of the nightclub that the incident happened at had his AR-15 strapped around his shoulder, and he's walking around bleeding and limping all over the place. So I'm like, okay, something crazy must have went down. And like the officers took his gun, cleared it, and I guess I don't know what happened then, but like it was just like people were constantly just fighting with the police. Like people were yelling at the police, and we watched that one guy get arrested and put in the back of a squad car.
That is in the vlog, is him getting in the cop car.
And even still, like I don't know what happened over there, because
dude. So what I heard, because we were like we were talking to each other, we were literally just listening, trying to get information, and I kept hearing these ladies, they were like talking and saying that one lady was saying, oh, they shouldn't be getting arrested because they were helping us calm, and they're all trying to calm this one guy down.
Yeah, I heard that.
Which was this guy who was dressed up in all white. He had wet sweatpants, white shirt, white shoes, and he was strapped. He had a pistol on him, and the security guard had the AR-15. So I don't. And what I overheard is because the cop, while he was clearing his AR, was talking to him, and the security guard, he like had a puffy lip, and he was like, you could tell that he was in shock, and he was saying that he got punched, he hit him, and that a gun went off, and he didn't know if it was his or if it was the other guy's.
And they kept pointing at like a trail of something in the doorway. I don't know if it was like a trail of blood, like broken glass.
Yeah, there was like two cop cars,
empty casings. I don't know.
Yeah, and then a guy who's dressed in white walks towards the bar, and the cop's like, "Hey, don't go there."
Walks right in.
Like it literally is like the cops are literally yelling at him, like, "Hey, do not step on the property." He's like, "I'm not stepping on the property." Steps on the property, and then they arrest him.
Yeah, it's
like, dude.
I remember he was like, I just want to go in there and see if somebody's. I don't remember what he said, but it was a bad excuse. He walked right in there and got escorted out.
In the vlog, it looks like I shot.
You shot somebody?
No, it looks like I took a video of him getting arrested on the side of the cop car and then getting put in. But actually, I missed them putting him in. I only got him sitting in the cop car, but then he starts screaming out of the cop car, "Yo, these things are tight." So then they open it back up, pull him back out, and loosen them, and like they recuff him. So that's when I got the video, and I like pieced it together so that it looked like. So now you're getting the behind the scenes scoop of that whole shit.
I'm surprised they actually listened to him.
Yeah, I know,
loosen
right?
the cuffs. Like that's actually one thing that the cops do.
Yeah, I mean, when I got arrested back in January of 21 or 22, this is an embarrassing moment. Like I fucking was blushing, but so they put me in the back of the cop car, and I didn't know that the dude I thought his partner was outside of the car with him. His partner was in the car, and I'm talking to myself because I had long hair. I had longer hair at the time, and it was in my mouth. Like it was fucking like draping down in my mouth. I was like, and I'm like cuffed, so I can't do anything. And I'm literally like trying to wipe my hair away, but it's not working. And I'm like really just talking out loud. I'm like, man, I really wish I wasn't cuffed right now. I've got to move my hair. All of a sudden, the guy walks past, and his partner that's in the passenger seat that I don't know is like, "Hey, can you fix his hair?"
That's funny.
And then the dude opens the guy, like fixes my hair. He's like, "This is good. This is good." Yeah, thank you. And that was like
suburban cops are so much nicer than the city cops, though.
In certain parts. I don't
know. They're really well paid out there, though. So I don't know.
Yeah, in certain parts. I know we talked about that we were going to get this to cars, and Joe's actually our other car friend. Nick's not a big car guy, but he does appreciate good-looking cars. He's more of a super car head. But so back, because we talked about the recent vlog, but we could talk about kind of our upbringing. So
I think you should start with so Joe's a huge part of this too, but you should start with your car. Because I remember the day that you got your car.
My Miata?
No, your very first car. And you were like, "Oh, I got it. Come over right now."
Okay. So, what's it called?
It was like what, 2016?
So I lived in the Trails, which if you guys aren't in Illinois, it's in Roselle, and it was this big hangout spot that it was this neighborhood where all of us really lived. Nick lived.
I lived off
kitty corner to it.
Yeah. Kitty corner.
Yeah, well,
that's what you meant when you said you parked at the kitty corner. I was like, what's that even mean?
It means diagonal.
You could have said diet.
I don't know. That's just what
I don't come up with the terminology.
I didn't come up with it. But anyways, so we all lived in this area. We were all like able to bike around. So we were all into bikes.
Yeah. BMX.
And we would always go to Joe's house because his house was in the dead center. So like my house, Chris's house, Anthony's house, Neil's house, we're all on this side of the trails. Then it was Joe's house on the outskirts of the trails, and then the intersection, then you,
Yep.
the other Anthony.
It was perfect location.
Yeah, perfect location.
And
so everyone met
Joe always had the coolest toys. He had a pool table. He had the nicest bikes.
Had the coolest toys. He always
dirt bikes when we were like 13, 14 years old. We're like, dude,
he was the first one to get a hoverboard.
Yeah.
And then I got mine. Like always like cool stuff that he had. So we were always there. And basically we would work on our bikes. We would BMX, ride to Nergi, which was this elementary school that was close by.
Mm-hmm.
And ride to Walmart, stuff like that.
And Joe had this really nice, like couple $100 BMX bike. And I had a BMX bike that my mom bought me from Walmart like years prior that I just used as like a bike. It was like, oh, it's not a BMX. It's just a bike.
Yeah, all of our fucking bikes were bought at Walmart.
And Joe would bully the hell out of us for it too. Yeah. He's like, he goes over, picks up our bike. It's like, dude, this thing's heavy as hell. How are you supposed to do tricks on it?
Yeah. And then he fucking like because he'd always have sets of sprockets. He's like, dude, let's change the sprockets, let's change the gearing, let's make these things better. Yeah. So we'd literally take these Walmart bikes apart and make them into better bikes. So we'd buy the stuff from the bike shop and just make them better. So change up the gearing and everything. And
eventually Joe bullied me to the point where I just straight up bought like an actual BMX bike, like a kink bike, giggity.
Oh, yeah.
And that was like the bike that I would take over to his house, and I'd be like, dude, you know everything. Like, how do I do this and that?
That's shit, dude.
And he was like trying to teach, because he was like into bikes. Like he does like mountain biking and stuff like that and goes on trails, but he also just he'll go to the skate park and do tricks. And he doesn't, for the longest time, he would not run brakes on his bike, because he would try and do bar spins, and if he had brake cables, he wouldn't be able to do bar spins. Yeah. So he would always be showing me like how to stop on a bike without brakes.
The maniac of our crew.
Yeah.
Like, so that's why when we tell you that what we did last night was completely in Joe's nature.
Yeah.
Joe just does that shit. Like during winter, we'd put a sled and a rope behind our buddy's Suburban.
Yep.
And Joe would be like, let's go.
And the cops showed up.
I
have video of that somewhere.
Yeah, that
was funny
shit. Though. So like that's just our element is being crazy. And Joe was the crazy one mostly. Like, but he had the nice house. And basically we in school we had iPads, and one of the apps that we had was Schoology, where you could have a class and basically the teacher would post assignments, and then you could turn in stuff there, get assignments, homework, and you could also talk to your classmates. And
it's like a forum.
But I don't know why we didn't just have a group chat, but instead of having a group chat, we made our own Schoology called Joe's Bikes. And a lot was said in there that can't be said on here.
I remember rule number 1 was no nil. You remember that? Nil was this guy that he was like one of our friends. I don't know why we excluded him from Joe's Bikes, but
because he didn't know how to drive a bike or ride a bike.
He had that old bike from the 1980s that was full chrome. Yes. But it was a cool bike, and Joe loved it. I'm pretty sure Joe might have sold that to him. But I remember his bike got stolen by somebody that lived in the that neighborhood across that bridge, like over the expressway, off on the right there. That area, and we had to go get it, because I remember that I got my bike stolen from Christian. I don't know if you did.
No, my bike never got stolen.
Well, my bike got stolen from this. He wasn't my friend, but he was Joe's friend.
Because everyone in our friend group knew that my parents had cameras everywhere.
Yeah. I think I don't remember where it got stolen. I think it got stolen from outside of Joe's house.
Actually, no. My bike was always at Joe's house.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like
my bike was always at Joe's house. I just left it there. My bike. I don't think I ever brought. Well, I think I brought it up a couple times, but it was
in the beginning.
Because it was the blue.
We used to go on those crazy 15-mile bike rides just all over the place to the mall and stuff.
And we were the kids that never sat on our bikes. Like the fucking seat was all the way down,
or like this.
Yeah,
and you would not want to sit on that.
We'd be standing, and then if we needed to sit, we wouldn't be pedaling and sitting. So we literally would just be cruising down a hill, sitting, but you're super fucking low. And
yep, that's just the way we had a little biker gang going for a while.
Yeah,
we thought we were the coolest kids on the block.
No, that's what my bike did get stolen. Because you guys, I don't know if you were with us, but we were all rode to Walmart, and Christian Duyan was there at Walmart with his friends, and they walked there, and Joe, Chris, Seals, and Neil were outside, and I went inside to go get a drink. I come out, all of them are gone. My bike's gone.
I remember.
And I called Joe. I was like, yo, what?
Yeah. This is where my bike got stolen too. And
was it you and me that got that?
Yeah, our bikes both got stolen, and
because Chris and his friends. So,
but we knew that they were there, so we thought it was them. So we called Joe asking like if he knew anything about it, and he was like, I don't know, I'm gonna go over there and ask. Lo and behold, he goes over to Christian's house.
Both of our bikes,
and both of our bikes are in his dang garage, and
so mad.
I'm pretty sure he just opened it up and we
grabbed
took it.
It back.
Yeah.
So
I remember
it pissed me off.
I think like right before that, like a couple days before, a week before, had the bikes parked at Walmart, and all of our valve caps got stolen. You remember that?
I don't think I was there for that one.
I don't know. I know I did. I know Joe wasn't. Joe was bad because he had his fancy valve caps. And
were those the ones that the dice?
I think so.
I remember the dice, the valve caps. But yeah, the way that Joe's garage was set up, it was really cool because they had this Trailblazer that nobody used. They used it more as storage than a car. And it was essentially this corridor. And at the end was this like toolbox that he built himself with like this giant mirror.
I don't know how he worked on everything back there either.
At all. And then his bikes were on the wall. And like, it was really cool.
And when's the last time you saw how, because they like redid everything.
Yeah, no, it's got, the car's gone. No,
pool table, ceilings.
We went over there. Last time I was there was like a year ago.
Playing 8-ball.
And by the way, after high school, not really, after junior year, really, me, Joe, and Nick split up.
Yeah, we all kind of went, it's like kind of just one of those things where it's like, we all went on our separate paths and maintained a little bit of like contact.
Yeah, we text each other there, here and there. I saw Joe a couple of times. I think
we would randomly run into each other at car meets, at Strats and stuff like that. And then there was like a time, I think that was like a year ago, where I was with Joe and we were just like, I wonder what Sam's up to. We went to B-Dubs.
Yeah. That was a good time.
But yeah, so it's just one of those like relationships that's like, you can go like periods where we're hanging out every single day to not hanging out at all for months and then come back like nothing ever happened.
Dude, it's, when I tell you Joe and Nick are like my two best friends, that's it. It literally, we pick up right where
we go so far back.
It's
right
insane.
Back to paintball.
They were my first friends when I got here. Like, first friends ever. I mean, Caleb was also, but I don't even know where Caleb is anymore. Like, he was in Miami for a little bit, and then he moved up here again. Like, I have no idea where that kid is. Like,
I don't know where anybody we went to high school with is, besides like
Adam
people
Hicks.
in my No, I know where he is. He's doing well.
Is he?
Yeah,
that's good.
Adam Hicks. You guys know who Adam Hicks is?
That's not his real name.
Google him. We went to high school with
him. We went to school with a Disney star. I don't know his last name, but so our friend Matt looked exactly like Adam Hicks. So have you ever seen Lemonade Mouth, or what was he also in? Zeke and Luther. That TV show.
I never saw any of this.
Never saw Zeke and Luther? That shit was gas.
But
anyways,
I never saw any of that, but I Googled them and I was like,
dude, this is fucking dead on.
Yeah.
So Adam Hicks. So that's what his name in my phone is, still is. And I would call him, yo, Adam Hicks. And he'd be like, oh, my name.
What up? He was at deep monotone.
Yeah. Eventually he caught on. Or eventually he fucking just gave in. Because I told him I'm never going to stop calling that.
His he's still around. Like, he still hangs out with, like,
I saw him.
He's like with Nathan and Darwin usually. Yeah. I'll hang out with him.
Which is crazy, dude. crazy to think that all of our posses that were in high school are still
together.
Posses.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane.
And I'm one of the odd ones out because I was just friends with everybody.
Yeah. But anyways, going back, because we're just talking about us hanging out.
I know. We're going back to Joe's bikes.
Back to Joe's bike. So obviously we were bikers and everything. And going way back to why I instigated this, because we really went on a long ass tangent. But I was, since I was really the oldest of the group.
Yeah. He's 2 years old. Yeah, 2 years older than me.
I got held back. So okay. when I moved here, I was learning, what's it called, a grade ahead of me. And when I came here, they said that I had to retake.
You're like, whoa, slow down there, partner.
I had to retake 6th grade. So I was supposed to be going into 7th, but I came here at like the end of your guys' 6th grade.
Yeah.
So then I hit that.
Imagine if that didn't happen, though. This wouldn't be happening right now.
Dude, I know. It'd be
a whole different.
I'm very thankful for
whole different story.
So, basically, I was the first one to get my car, and it was 9/11. And you remember Corey and Kelly?
I do.
So unfortunately, their mom passed away, and I was pretty close to their mom, and so they invited me to the wake. It was pretty, it was a pretty gloomy day. We were at a wake. It was kind of drizzling. My parents pick me up and we go home, and my dad hands me a beer koozie that has the Seattle Seahawks on. And at the time I was a big Seattle Seahawks fan. And I'm like, "Wait, you letting me drink?" Well, excuse me. And he's like, "No, open it." So I open it, and in is Galant keys. And I told my parents that I really wanted a 1984 VR4 Galant, which is a 4G63 Galant 4-door with the automatic seatbelts. Which have you seen the automatic seatbelts from the 80s? Bitchin'. Love that. So I told them I wanted a Mitsubishi Galant. So they ended up buying me a 2003 Mitsubishi Galant with the fucking 4G64 commuter car. Like, it wasn't anything cool or anything, but
it was a dope car.
We thought it was the coolest thing in the world.
I remember getting the phone call from him, called me up, "Come over to my house right now. I got something cool to show you." I'm like, "Oh, dude, I wonder what it is." I show up. He opens up the garage like it was a freaking reveal in like an 80s movie. I'm like, damn. It's like, this is mine now.
We had Joe, Nil, you, and Michaelo.
Had the whole neighborhood practically. I remember at one point, Michaelo was in your trunk.
Yeah. So Michaelo, McKaylee and Michaelo, they were our friends in high school. They were twins, and Michaelo had one leg. So anytime we took a video of him, he's like, "Yo, one leg wonder."
I think doesn't he have that? Is that his? That might be his socials right now.
Yeah, it's socials.
He went viral a couple years ago, doing something.
I have the video still of us in the car.
Yeah, I see that come up in my. My voice sounded like this.
Yeah. So I'll put it on here, but here's the audio.
Oh my God! Look at me.
Dude, literally.
Joe looks the same. He still has a beard.
I know. Dude, Joe literally looked the fucking same. He literally looks the same as he did. My face got a little bit more full. Dude.
I was skinny as hell.
You changed the most. Because
I hope that's a compliment.
It is a compliment, I promise. Because when I first met you, you had somewhat short curly hair and your glasses.
Yeah. Then
you grew out the hair, and that's when we started hanging out.
I remember the contacts were like the biggest part.
Yeah.
The biggest change.
Then you like rocked your long hair and then cut it like off.
Yeah, that was in high school. I cut it really short.
And then I didn't even recognize you at that point. You would say like, "Hey, Sam."
I don't know who you are anymore.
You said, "Hey, Sam," one time, and I was like, "Who the fuck are you?"
Yeah, no. So my hair right now is long, and like this is pretty much how long I'd have it in high school. And then just one day I was just like getting tired of having to move it out of my hair. I move it out of my eyes. So I went over to the barber and like got like a number 2 on the sides and like a little bit longer on the top, just so I could,
Dude, it was fucking
style it back, and
it was bizarre because
so
all
bad,
we knew
though.
him as was long hair, and then after that's how we ended high school, was the short hair, and then I saw you a couple years later, and then you had started growing it back out.
I don't think I will ever cut it short ever again. I mean, I'm gonna
Fucking
like get
lame.
it cut, but it's not gonna be short. It's still gonna be long.
But what's
And
crazy,
my curls come out and stuff. So
is I only have videos.
Dude,
that's so funny.
I know exactly what the context of that stupid picture was too.
I know. But me and Joe hung out more than me and you.
Yep. At least like after like because he started getting way more into cars, and cars weren't necessarily my scene. Like all my friends, like it seems like a lot of my friends in high school at one point got into cars, and like that was like their main hobby. I'd go over to their house, check this out, pop the hood. I'm like, I don't know what I'm looking at. I see cylinders, I see belts.
Yeah, because it was Matt, Darwin, Nathan, me, Joe. All of us are into cars.
Yeah.
Holy shit! I never fucking realized that you're literally the only person that was into cars.
No.
But then this motherfucker buys a Bentley GT, and here we are, all in our Civics.
Civics are dope, though. It's better. And now I just have that thing over there that they can't see, but electric bicycle.
You only had the GT for like a month.
Yeah, it wasn't very long. I was so obviously I live in the city, so I don't really have a use for a car. I have my actual car, which is a 2001 Acura TL 3.2 liter V6. That's pretty much all I know. It got like 220 horsepower. It's actually like, I love that car so much. But like that was my first car, and I had at one point like the most modifications I had on it was modifications. I put in a whole new stereo system in there, and new sub with the help of Joe, because he was always the one with he had all the cool toys, the Kuiken subs, the nice speakers,
dude,
touchscreen. But yeah, at one point I had tint on there, and this is actually a good story. So I wanted to get my windows tinted, and at first I looked into doing it myself. I'm like, dude, that's gonna turn out too bad. You see the people with like bubbly tint. I don't want that. There was this guy that I think it was like an ad on Craigslist, and he was like, I'll tint your windows for $180. I'm like, deal right there. I drive to this guy's house, and he lived in Des Plaines, and it was just like, you pull up to this guy's house, he's got like a line of cars outside his house. So he's like, this is like what he does. And it was like this like huge Mexican guy gets in my car, does all the tint in like maybe half an hour. And like at one point his wife came out and was like offering me food. I'm like, this is awesome. but when I was just choosing what tint, he was like, what tint you want to get? I'm like, I kind of want to just stick with the legal 35. And he was like, oh, well, I'm out of 35. I have 5% though. I was like, 5%? That's pretty dark. Screw it. Let's do it. And so he puts on 5% tint. And it's so like, have you ever had dark tint like that?
Yeah.
Like anybody that has ever had dark tint, you realize how bad that is driving at nighttime. And I just remember like one of my fondest memories, like reversing out of my driveway in the winter time. I would have to roll the window down when it's negative 15 degrees out to be able to look outside, because I can't see out of my rearview mirror or through the side mirrors.
My Unos is 20 and I can barely see out of that thing.
And then fast forward after the winter where I was talking about just now, in the just right before school started, I was driving around Woodfield Mall, and I got pulled over by a cop for the tint. And he was like, your car, your tint here, it's pretty dark. Like, you mind if I test it real quick? I'm like, sure, go ahead. And I was like, oh yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what percent it is. And he puts the tester on there. 2.5%. Like, if this is even darker than what the guy said it was, 2.5% tint. That is a limo tint, if anything. And he was like, he hands me this piece of paper. I'll always remember it. $350 ticket, or you rip off that tint, get it removed, show the police department, and you won't have to pay the ticket. So I was like, okay. I go grab a water bottle, a spray bottle, and a razor blade, and I'm taking off the tint, completely tearing up the like in the rear windshield, like the stuff that heats.
Oh, fuck, dude.
Got all that out of there, and yeah, I didn't have tint. But anyway, as I was saying like earlier,
I will say the car community with tint has, because when you said that what kind of tint you want,
yeah,
in my mind I was like, oh yeah, chrome tint, purple tint, colored tint,
35,
ceramic tint, regular tint. I didn't even think about the percentage.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, you could always spend more money on some really nice tint, but I wasn't about it. I was in high school, man. I was in the trenches.
Absolutely.
But
I mean, me and Joe, so back to the whole car thing, is me and Joe really, because I don't even remember you having a car. That's how fucked it was.
Well, because you guys were so much older than me anyway, so it's like I got my car in 2017.
So that would have been
that was like
that was end
or
of
2018. I don't remember.
That would be beginning of junior year, end of sophomore year. No, because that would be literally beginning, because you would be 16, beginning of our junior year.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. That was the point I was trying to make after talking about my car. Was I live in like downtown Chicago, so I have absolutely no reason to have a car. I have an electric bike that is faster than any car anyway during any time.
Vlog.
But if I ever have to get a car or make an impression, I use Turo to rent cars, and that's when I'm like, all right, let's have a little fun. What do I feel like driving today? Mercedes SLK 55 AMG, done. I remember I rented that for a day to show some clients up in Lincoln Park, and then I was like, well, it's only 3:00 and I have this thing for another 18 hours, so what should I do? I drove all the way out to Schaumburg, and I went to Coffee House, and I was like, yeah, man, this is my car. I was just like, it's my Mercedes. Like I was like, check this out. Press a button, the roof comes off. I was like, yeah, it's got a V8 in her. Rev it up.
God, dude. You were in Schaumburg and didn't say hi?
Were you? I don't know if you were going to Coffee House, and then
not even a thing anymore.
Yeah, one of my favorite cars I've ever rented was like I would, if I was gonna get another car like daily.
Dude, that's what we should do after this is done. Rent a damn car on Turo.
We could. Is Tesla Model 3 Performance. That'd probably be the next daily if I had to get one.
The Teslas are
I know the car community hates Teslas and electric.
Okay, all right. It's because it's electric, but honestly, dude, I drove one the other day. Holy shit,
dude!
I fucking hit the accelerator.
I rented one to go up to.
How fast those things are.
I rented one to go up to Lake Geneva, and I had my buddy Six was with me, and I was completely sober, but he was intoxicated. And I remember I was like, dude, check this shit out. He gets in the car. Immediately 0 to 60. He's like, bro, are we in a freaking spaceship? Like, what is happening here? Because this is the fastest Model 3 you can get. I think the 0 to 60 might be like 3. Oh, I'm gonna skew that. I think it's like 3.1 to 3.4 maybe. I'm not sure. It's a fast car, and way too fast for somebody like me to be driving it.
Yeah,
but it's such a nice car. If I don't know. I need a car because it takes me to one place to another. I like the look and the feel. Obviously, I want to have my V8. It's got to sound nice. I don't care about any of that stuff. I just utility. That's all I need.
Why do you keep saying V8 and looking at me?
Why, do you like V8s?
No.
You don't like V8s? You've never had a V8.
That's not true either.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
You know I've owned like 31 cars, right?
Do you?
Not as I've owned in my life.
Jesus.
Yeah, I have a problem.
How many of those were Miatas?
Fuck. 14?
I got them. We got them.
14.
Jeez.
14 out of 31.
Yeah.
That's the real problem.
But yeah, I've also, with the electric bike, I have kind of like wanted to get an actual motorcycle just to cruise around.
Okay.
But
when Joe told me that you had a bike, I thought you had a motorcycle.
It'd been a lot cooler.
Get here and I'm like,
there is like some really great, like, so I just have like pretty much bare bones electric bike. There are some really crazy electric bikes out there that are still classified as bikes, so I could still ride them in the bike lanes and on the lakefront and stuff, and not have to worry about getting a ticket or anything. Yeah. There's some electric bikes that can go like 7. Like my friend Amish just built an electric bike literally 2 days ago, and he said it was going 75. I'm like, that's just scary.
Yeah, it's scary shit.
I just can't imagine. I was going like we were going like 30 on that thing, and I was already like, ah.
Holy fuck, dude! All right, what were we talking about?
Yeah, what were we talking about? We were talking about how you and Joe kind of hung out a lot more than you and I did.
Okay.
You guys started.
So like, as soon as Joe got his Cavalier, me and him like we'd be cruising everywhere, and then I did all that right. I regret a lot of stuff that I did to that Galant, that racing stripe that I did, the burn rubber banner.
I feel like just like with the last 2 podcasts you did, it seems like people regret a lot that they did with the first car. So I think that's okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I regret nothing with mine, but
you didn't do anything to it. I
put a nice touchscreen in it.
Yeah, I have a touchscreen in my fucking Miata.
Yeah, yours is an iPad, so that is pretty cool.
Yeah,
but
that our school iPad.
Oh my gosh, you bought yours. We keep going on these tangents.
I know. So our school had iPads, and we were able to purchase them, and that is what I use because it was like $130.
$130 iPad to steal. So you guys would hang out all the time, and I would only hear about the stories from either you or Joe. I was never there because this was probably right when I was getting into all my work, and I started. It was like kind of just one of those things where it's like fun or future. It's just
one thing.
It was a hard balance.
What like me and Joe in our mind is you were so money related. Like you just had this bright future, and me and Joe just wanted to fuck off. We wanted to fuck off and do whatever the fuck we wanted to do. And by senior year, you had so when you were 16, that's when you invested in Bitcoin under your dad's name, right?
Yeah.
So this kid was like worth, I remember on graduation day.
I would not say numbers on this.
Not say numbers? Okay. On graduation day, he said
$5.
He said a number that blew my fucking mind because me and Joe looked at each other with $10 in our bank accounts.
I shared that with Joe?
Both of us.
Back then, I shared that information with a lot of people, and I really wish I hadn't, because now it's just like, I don't know. With you, it's fine because I still talk to you, but I had so many fake people enter my life
that just wanted
to be friends with me because for that reason. And I feel like you and I both know one other person that's happened to, more like Joe's friend too. I don't know if you might not know who I'm referring to.
I think I have a vague idea.
But Mustang. Anyway, that kid, he got
yes.
I don't know how much, but
he
well
got
enough.
A lot.
Well, he's well off, and I remember.
Well, you know that both of them are gone now, right?
Yeah.
So because that's where Caleb was. That's how I knew where Caleb was.
Yeah, and that's part of the my friend Andrew, right? He would always tell me stories about how I
don't even know where the fuck Andrew is now. I forgot he existed.
Yeah, Andrew's in real estate with me.
I know he's in real estate now, but I barely hear from him.
I
still have videos of
we always dumb stuff.
13 bowls of rice and just started giving them to people. And
dude,
he went up to this Asian girl and was like, "Here for your people."
Dude.
And I was like,
Andrew, I love Andrew so much. He's literally like me, but a year younger.
Andrew has no filter, cap, nothing. He'll do whatever.
It's the best thing ever.
It's the best to be around, but sometimes it can get annoying, especially when we were in school and he was just being totally just out of pocket.
That's why him and I got along so well. It's because him and I both were like that. I remember. So now I'm just
really out of pocket with something.
Now I'm just getting into the history of me and Andrew, but that's how him and I met in our engineering class in high school because him
met
and I were
Andrew
both
through you,
into
too.
computers, and we just like immediately day one we were just spitting out memes and we were just laughing our asses, just like how we did.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's off. He just like he does what I do and kind of just works in the background and minds our own business, gets things done, and people show up and they're like, "What the hell have you done in the past 2 years?" And it's like, "Oh, I did all this," and it's like, "Oh shit." But
Yeah.
what were we talking about?
This dude, I don't know. All I know is that I'm very proud of you. I hung out with a model today. It's in the vlog. And she knows RJ. Do you remember RJ?
Kramer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So RJ was my best friend for like 2 years, back when we hang out with Scatoni.
When you were addicted to monsters? Or he was addicted to monsters?
So after me and Nick and Joe all hung out with our bikes things, we kind of separate. We were still all friends, but I started hanging out with this RJ kid. And I'm good with him now, but I guess he's not good with me or whatever. But I want to say this as nicely as possible. So I'm just trying to figure out the wording of it. Most people would say dick ride, but I'm not going to say that. He finds friends that are big in the car community. So before me, it was Michael, but that's because he had a ride. And I was growing popularity because of a trending hashtag free Del Slow, because of one night I got like 7 tickets. And Michael had recently almost killed him and my brother.
Yep, I remember that. That was a big day at school.
That was a huge day, and I almost killed Michael because of that. So, little side note, Michael has anger issues, but he was in this giant Suburban with RJ, my brother, my baby brother, and our other friend Jackson. Dude whips it around with this big old Suburban, loses control, hits the median, flips the thing upside down. They end up going to the hospital. Everyone except for RJ, and RJ ends up going to school. But so after that,
got some balls for that.
Yeah. After that, we all stopped talking to Scatoni, and RJ became my friend, and I was growing popularity. And then after that, this Adrian kid bought an M3 that we were hanging out with, and he got big because he had this E36 M3 that was beautiful. So then RJ ditched me, stopped talking to me, stopped hanging out with me, started hanging out with this Adrian kid. Then Adrian went to the Marines.
Mm-hmm.
And then, lo and behold, he found Ross, which is a Pro-Am driver. And Ross is really cool. I've known him since his car was purple. Or his S13 was, and he doesn't have that anymore. He crashed that. But Ross is really cool. And RJ is now thinks he's hot shit because he's hanging out with Ross. But he texted Megan, because apparently, which is the model, and said that I'm a wannabe famous person.
Wannabe? Is he verified on Instagram?
I'm like, I'm not a wannabe. I mean, I think I'm pretty big. I wouldn't say I'm famous.
There's a difference between being a wannabe famous person and somebody that's actively trying to get to that point where they have a following and a brand.
Like, if you're not 100 followers on Snapchat and treating it like, or like you're this big person, or putting other people down. But if you ask any of my followers, people text me all the time asking for Miata questions, and I'm always down to help. I'm not a
you're not a wannabe if I'm building a brand, spending thousands of dollars on your business to get somewhere.
Exactly.
It's like, I don't know. I don't like people like that, but it's at the same time, like I can kind of understand it.
But I have no hatred towards RJ. If RJ came up to me and said, "Yo, man, I'm sorry. I still want to, be cool with you." I have asked anyone. I have no hatred towards anyone. Like Darwin sometimes comments on my stuff saying I'm wrong, and I'm like, okay.
And like people talk crap about stuff I do. It's like, okay.
I mean, I talk crap.
I understand.
I talk crap to your face, but it's funny, and I know, like you're going into you like wine.
Yeah.
And
I'm a big wine enthusiast.
I always make fun of him because that's what my mom drinks. But I'm not a big wine guy.
It's just because
I mean, I'm not a beer guy.
My family grew me up drinking wine.
Can I have some more?
And my dad runs a wine website, like a wine blog that gets millions of views a month.
A vineyard.
So, no, that's the next step, though. I mean, he already lives out towards that way. So
Kuiken Vineyard.
Yes, sir. We'll do some Sauvignon Blanc or something nice.
I did go to a wine tasting at one time.
Really? I went to 3 this month, and a gin tasting. That was one of those things where it's
trying to rub it in
because, like, I wasn't ever part of like the wine brand before, but ever since pretty much when my dad moved away, I became like a content creator for them, and I run their social medias and do all their TikTok and YouTubes, and I want to make like this is completely separate from what I want to do with my own brand, but like YouTube surrounded by wine, in a sense. Like the theme of it would be wine related. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but it's definitely something I want to do. But became a content creator for them and do the podcast sometimes. I'm like a co-host with the podcast.
Yeah.
And I'm like getting this first time view of what it's like to have like a big media agency. Like it's not huge, obviously, but like it's one of the top 10 search for when it's like a wine. If you're looking up wine, like we get top 10 search results, usually top 5, millions of views, millions of clicks a month. Or the podcast even gets tens of thousands a month. It's insane. But the amount of events that you get invited to out when you're a big name in the area, like we got invited to a gin that just got released, and they did something down at Italy, and the only other people were there were influencers and people that did social media marketing and agencies. And
dude,
we're like
crazy.
We're with like big wigs here, and we're 2 people that we're not really all into gin, but we're here enjoying this event, and the gin was amazing. And it's just one of those things. And the same thing with like,
I will say when it comes to content, I'm ahead with making it, but when it comes to networking, you got me.
Networking, like that's probably my biggest business expenses are networking related, like business cards and flyers and stuff. And what I was going to say is that box right there that they can't see, but that box there was 2 bottles of red wine that some random guy that knows about our website was like, hey, I have these 2 new wines shipped from wherever they came from, shipped me 2 bottles of red wine to try out and put on the podcast. And they're not like, obviously it's not like a paid promotion, but like free wine just because you make a podcast about wine's awesome. They say free wine's the best wine.
Definitely. I'm not a big wine guy, but I definitely would take.
I mean, same thing with my whiskey back there and stuff. That should have been the our drink for the podcast.
But instead of drinking Fanta. But
actually, Fanta and Coke.
To go off that, and gotta wrap it up soon. But I might be taking a break from YouTube if I get this new job.
Really? What's the new job?
So I can't say the exact thing, but it is a reality show, and I would be the videographer of it.
That would be awesome.
So it would be basically I'd be running their YouTube channel and doing their videography and editing, and it would be a really great opportunity if I got it. But the guy who interviewed me really liked me.
That's awesome. So, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, so it'd be really cool and really big
reality.
He's telling me that because I told him that I vlog and everything, and he said, "Well, if you get this job, you're more than welcome to vlog everything we do."
That would be, there you go. It's 2 birds with 1 stone.
Exactly. So, he said that he would love to grow my channel along with everything. So I'm really excited.
2 for 1.
If I get it, I'm really hoping I do. But it's a
full break, or what are we talking here? Like, take a couple months off, a few months off, a year.
It'd just be a couple months. He was supposed to do it from April to August, but he said he got some pushback. So, because he had to hire most of his new people, or most of his team he had to let go, and he's hiring a whole new team. That's why he's hiring. So he said that maybe end of May or sometime in June is when he's going to start, and then it's
there you go.
It's only like a 3-month process.
Pay well. He almost threw up in his mouth, so I think that's a yes or a no, depending the way you look at it.
It's salary. I'm not allowed to discuss money, but it pays pretty well.
Alrighty.
And
for all the cash.
If it benefits the vlogs, then YouTube could be paying me too.
I had those questions I wrote down, and I just want to ask you. The first one was, what are your short-term goals? Like, where do you see yourself 3 months from now?
This is my podcast, and he's asking me questions.
Yeah, so I mean, the last 2 podcasts is. See, I also I like having the guests and like the guests answering the questions, but this man has had like a huge life, and I just want to there's so many questions to be asked, and nobody's asking them. You have a very interesting life. You got to have at least one episode where you answer some questions, or at least answer a couple.
I never really
per
thought about my life being interesting, but it's honestly
pretty interesting.
Yeah, I guess so.
When you're looking on the outside in, at least.
Yeah, I guess my life's pretty interesting. It's not really interesting when you're living it.
But yeah, so
I got to do a draw my life.
Yeah, do it like Casey Neistat.
Yeah.
But yeah, short-term goal, 3 months.
3 months? Well,
yeah, very short term. Like, well, I'll make it easy.
This job, I'll be doing that. And so as my viewers already know, I'm moving to Texas in June. So that's literally 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously being in Texas, if I get this job, I won't even be in Texas. So I would be living in Texas, but the job is I'd be traveling nonstop for 3 months.
All right.
So
let's just say for the question's sake, if you didn't get the job and you were moving to Texas, like, what would your goals be? So you're 1 month into, or 2 months in. Geez, I can't do math right now. 2 months into living in Texas.
The goal would definitely be to pursue YouTube. And so if I don't get this job, I have about 3 jobs lined up to where I'd be a content creator for either a dealership or a smaller brand.
There you go.
There's a Ford dealership about 30 minutes away from my house, and they are looking for someone to run their TikTok. But we've been talking on for a while, and I know we ran on a long tangent, and I don't even know where we're getting back to, but this has been a podcast with one of my best friends growing up.
Thanks for having me. It was awesome.
It was great.
And it was a while since we had a deep conversation like this anyway. So.
I know, dude. Like,
should do it more often.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to be coming out here a lot. So if you guys like Nick in the vlog, if you guys like the vlog, please and please.
I was nervous. Don't go so hard on me.
Tell your mom, grandma, dog, best friend, your goldfish. Tell everyone to subscribe to my channel. Please. I would love my channel to go up. These podcasts, I don't think I'll get a lot of following through them. It's really just a fun thing to do.
It's nice to have some content on the channel when you're not vlogging.
It would be nice to start to get monetized.
Rated 5 stars on Spotify, by the way.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Nick, for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
We are gonna finish out the rest of my vlog after this, and it'll probably be up before this. But thank you guys again for watching, and you guys have a great rest of your day.
Peace.